Bullshit lasts forever.
Do wop a do wop shoo, be do be do wop a do wop a do wop shoo, be do be do wop a do wop a do wop shoo, be do be do wop a do wop a do wop shoo, be do be do wop a.
Oh, look at that! I just got a notification. We're going live.
Wait, how
Everybody's thinking about that out here.
you subscribe to us on YouTube?
Pinkies out.
Yeah, bro.
So where do you have this on? Like Facebook, Brandon?
YouTube.
I'm kinda tired, bring 'em. Soothing arms my way. My back is aching and
Yeah, I'm watching it live right now.
How do I go there?
honey, you know that I want more.
Go to YouTube and a
Share
different
screen.
browser.
We can see live right now.
Yeah, I can totally do this.
Pinkies out.
She give me catchy.
Oh my gosh, boys.
Podcasting sure is fun, kitty.
Dude, it's so fun, man. Especially when we got all these people now. We just have a good time with everyone. I love it.
Pinkies out. Cheers to
Yes,
you.
indeed.
Yo,
Cheers to everybody.
Pinkies out. Send me a link, Brandon.
I'll do it for you. I mean,
Send it at the end. You can watch it.
I went on down to Leon's place. He had such a beat look on his face. I
Good
said,
choice on song of the day, Dom.
where'd you get those
Fuck yeah.
eyes? He met a girl
That song is amazing, dude. I heard it in the dumbest video ever, and I figured that that's how everyone's feeling right now, because we're at that make or break point with, like, what is happening with anything that's currently going on in the market right now.
Hey, I
Oh, it's gonna
man.
change.
I bought a bunch of Ethereum at 169, 170, and it's sitting at 181. I mean, I'll set a stop loss so I don't get boned. But
I can't move. I'm at I have a range that I've actually now set for myself where if I haven't made a move before I hit it, I'm sitting in it. There's nothing I can do. Once I've hit this range, I just sit. So if I'm way above, cool, I can make moves. Like when I did the other day where I made a move, and I actually get some good money. But otherwise that, I just sit in my range. Right now, I woke up the other day and not massively long. I guess I'm a couple grand in my range, but I'm just not moving. My next jump after seeing what you were talking about with Stellar X is I definitely want to buy more Stellar X or Stellar Lumens because of that Stellar X. That's the same thing, right?
yeah, it's going to be a Stellar Rand Exchange. We'll talk about it a little bit today.
Hey, AC, you look like one of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yeah, you see his gorgeous hair? Show everybody your gorgeous hair, AC. I think you got to talk. I think you got to talk for everybody to see your gorgeous hair.
oh, I gotta talk. Sorry. All right. Hey, everybody. Here's my gorgeous hair. Wait,
Dude,
Uh,
Nick Lachey over here.
are you guys in the office?
Yeah, we're in the
sure.
office. Yeah.
Here's you
Oh, okay.
block out your face on purpose, or
Yeah, he doesn't like the way he looks right now. His hair isn't as gorgeous as AC's, so he's kind of jealous.
Yeah, I'm
Put a
kind of
picture
jealous.
over
Like
your
this hair though, reminds me. Remember Bobby's World? There was a dude
Yeah.
that had hair like that. Yeah, I forgot. People don't talk about Bobby's World anymore.
Oh man, I used to hate Bobby's World because it was like the one cartoon that was like mediocre to me, and it was always
the
like
Minnesota
after all the
Vikings?
cool cartoons, and I just watch it just because.
now Bobby's World would be sick, dude. I miss the old days of like, Hey Arnold and Doug.
Hey Arnold was cool.
Hey Arnold was cool. Doug was cool. I used to watch a lot of Rugrats. Rugrats was dope.
I'm kind of like Doug these days. I wear the same shirt.
Bro.
Yeah, Rocco's was good too. That whole Nickelodeon, man, that stuff really fell downhill. It used to be amazing. The
Well, yeah,
Are You
because-
Afraid of the Dark and
They started making it for people that had an IQ of like 6. You know, they're like, look, this is a can of milk. Milk doesn't come in cans. Do you kids understand? And all the kids are like,
oh yeah, milk. Yeah.
really stupid now.
So
dude.
Bobby's World had a song called "Under the Water, the Fish Don't Stink."
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
It says right here, according to the Wikipedia page, that they went off in '98. I can't even believe they had that long of a run.
Wow.
that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. You know that Howie Mandel, he's famously a germaphobe. He won't even shake people's hands.
You know, I feel like that's changed though. If you've seen him on the America's Got Talent, he's touching people now.
Who's touching people? Did you say Bill Cosby?
Yeah, Roofie Colada, Quaalude.
Wait, so
Party.
that was Howie Mandel. Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah, that was Howie. Yeah, Howie
Yeah,
did
that's-
Bobby's World. You didn't know this? Come on, man.
Wow. So that's the same Howie
Dude,
Mandel.
he had
Okay.
hair. He had like hair in that show.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you take a look at this, it's like he's got Mandel opts to exchange fist bumps
Yeah,
rather than to.
yeah, we talked about it the other day. Virgins versus Chads. Chads do fist bumps, and virgins get germs doing handshakes. So,
Oh, there you go.
so
Yeah, that's a great subject in and of itself.
yeah, let's take a look at cryptocurrencies today. Right now, we got Bitcoin is actually going up just a little bit. It's sitting at 6,313.99. I was excited with a little bit of a jump. I mean, I really would like to see a little bit of a rise. I'd really like to see all these a-holes who are shorting the market to get their comeuppance and for us to do a nice little short squeeze here. Now, whether or not that'll happen or not, that's definitely up in the air. I myself, if you didn't hear me talking with Dom earlier in the podcast itself, was very happy to end up shorting or picking up some Ethereum down at the $170 mark, and we're sitting at 180, 186. So I might scalp some profits off the top there just to take a little bit and get out. I mean, this is dangerous market to be trading in right now with everything that's going on. But if you set your shorts correctly and you make the right decision and you get out before you lose the money and you keep it and you put it in your bank account. My new favorite thing to do actually is every time that you make money, just to put it on your credit card payment immediately. I know that it's nice to hang on to money, but sometimes it's nice to make sure that your credit card is 100% paid off. So, a couple things to talk about today. I was noticing the other day, it's about to change here, but interesting topic. Does anyone out there know what the most solid coin of 2018 has been? The one that has dropped the least over the course of January until now.
I feel like this is a trick question. I feel like the answer
All the coins that I don't have.
All the coins that you don't have, yeah.
Yeah, my guess. I mean, we'll talk about it a bit later, but I'm still a big fan of Stellar Lumens.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Lumens, Lumens has been doing good.
Yeah, right, dude. Compared to for the
Wow.
year, it's way down. It's way down.
Wait,
I've
it's
got a
not
buddy
doing
who
as
picked
bad
it up
as
at like 2,000s worth like $600 now. But actually, it was kind of a trick question. Believe it or not, the safest coin of 2018 was BNB, Binance Coin. Yeah, see, Dom probably could have guessed something like that. In fact, the thing that made me cry is if you put all your money into Binance Coin in January, somewhere around April, May, June, you could have been almost even, and you wouldn't have lost any money. I mean, it hit 16, and I think in January it was like $18. So it actually has fallen way less than Bitcoin, about 54%. And that's going to change here. It's been subsidized by all the purchasing that goes on that exchange, and people have to keep it to get reductions on costs and fees, and they're sitting there propping that coin up, and we're going to see it probably crash down around $5. Believe it or not, it's actually pretty scary, pretty sad. But trick question there. So that is probably going to change soon. Now, one of the things I did want to talk about a little bit, anyone here kind of know how Bitcoin directly affects all other cryptocurrencies and why it's so important when Bitcoin goes up or goes down and why it affects all the altcoins?
Shoot.
I do know the answer, but honestly, I can explain it, but you explain it way better because you're the person that broke it down to me. And Bitcoin is are you talking about Bitcoin compared to the altcoins and why it controls them so much?
Yeah, why it controls them. I mean, why is it the one ring to rule them all?
It's the U.S.
That's how you buy it. That's how you buy these coins.
Down, everything else goes down with it too. It's the same thing for cryptocurrency. As the worth of Bitcoin goes down, the worth of anything else is digital asset, money, ICO, whatever token you're looking at goes down as well, correct?
It does, and the main reason for it is just because it's all tied through the exchanges. I mean, if you have stop losses set, it's not selling into USD 99% of the time with the way that cryptocurrencies are set up. It's selling into BTC. So as BTC goes up and down, people are selling out of their altcoins into Bitcoin, and it's just a direct correlation between the two. The other thing we've started to notice is pretty scary as well is a lot of these coins that are ERC20 tokens that are tied to Ethereum are just going in the toilet as Ethereum goes in the toilet. So that's really scary as well. Good, interesting thing I just found out though, something that's really sexy to me and really made me excited to hear. So right now, Ethereum is a steal. It's sitting at $182, $183. Do you guys know why Bitcoin is held so well at the 5,900, the $6,000 mark?
Because of the mining cost, the
Mining
miners.
costs, exactly. So
Yeah.
the reason it's held, the reason that Ethereum is just a steal right now and you want to buy it, did you know it costs $600? The value of Ethereum is $600 as far as mining costs go. So with it sitting at 182.91, it costs $600 to mine an Ethereum right now, and it's about to get worse too. They're about to, in the next year or two, they're going to gimp the rewards engine on it, and it's going to cost even more. So right now, Ethereum is a steal. If you're willing to sit in this thing for the long haul and you just like want to put some away in cold storage, buy as much as you can right now. Close your eyes. Hold on to the seat and just sit there and ride it out until Ethereum is back up at 600, which it will be within the next 6 months.
So let me ask you this, and I don't think there's a right answer for this or wrong. Just from you, what do you think your opinion is on why Bitcoin has held its value according to mining costs and Ethereum has not? What do you think that reason is for that?
Because people have been able to short Bitcoin all year long, and with Ethereum, they're just now, the big institutions are getting into shorting the heck out of it. And with the shorts as well, it's a perfect storm because all the people in the ICOs have operating costs and they were all dumb and held everything in Ethereum. And now all that money that they need to pay their employees needs to become real fiat dollars, and it's still sitting in Ethereum. Some of the smartest ICOs, there's people who are making fun of them because they sold immediately and then Ethereum went up to $1,400 and you guys are so dumb. Well, who's laughing now that they have all that fiat and all that money to keep the lights on and everybody else is just broke?
Here's the funny thing about this whole thing. The biggest problem with all these coins is the fact that the governments that control the currency basically block these exchanges from using US dollars to buy these coins.
Right, I know. And that's one of the things that really sucks because this would be a lot more controlled market if I could sit there and use a stop loss into USD on every dang coin that I wanted. It's one of the things that makes some of those coins on Binance so strong. Things like Stellar Lumens, things like Cardano, things like BNB. I mean, all those things when you can track them and chart them in USD, and when you go to sell at a stop loss, put it back into USD. Now I know it's USDT, and we could get into that. It's a whole different other road, but the reality is that at the end of the day, being able to track and chart and sell in US dollars is so much more powerful than tracking it versus BTC. 100%.
Well, BTC tracking it has its advantages there too. When obviously when Bitcoin's doing really well, but yeah, when you have the ability to, see it in your currency, it just makes more sense, because that's what you're using on a daily basis.
Is it sad it's gotten to the point where I look at Satoshis and completely understand where I'm sitting at now because of how often I look at this stuff? I think it's sad.
What, it's sad how much you look at this stuff?
Yeah. Satoshi is like a new a currency to look at where it's like, oh, cool. Like I'm sitting at 200. If I can sell here at 220, or if it goes up to 240, the amount of money I have in this, like it is amazing how if you are immersed in something for long enough, and I'm not saying compared to anyone out there that I've been immersed in it that much longer, but when you're looking at it every day for hours a day, yeah, I look at Satoshis now and I'm like, okay, cool. I can look
I
at
know, but here's where I'm going to blow your mind a little bit because like I like to do that too, and I look at things in value of Satoshi. But did you know that the value of a Satoshi is directly correlated to the value of what Bitcoin's at? So one Satoshi is just a derivative of Bitcoin. So if you had 200 Satoshi and Bitcoin is at 6,000, it's worth a lot less than if you had 200 Satoshi and Bitcoin is at 20,000. That's one of the reasons you see exponential growth on these coins. It's a scary thought. So Bitcoin goes to zero, then you're going to end up with no value on your 200 Satoshis.
Hey, Brandon. So what do you think of being that Bitcoin is down right now? How do you feel about like those mining things like Genesis mining and those basically mine for you services? Like, do you think because like back
They're all
in the day, a lot of
garbage.
people were
Yeah.
buying contracts.
Back in the day, they were great. So one of my good friends actually purchased one of the contracts, and it was a contract of perpetuity where they mined forever after his initial purchase. And it was one of the best decisions he ever made. I mean, he's mining like $40 a day, and he only gave him like a couple $1,000s back in the day when they were trying to start up. But now they only let you mine for a certain amount of time, and 99% of the time you end up with less money than what you paid them. It's an absolute joke, in my opinion.
Sad news is that the gentleman in question, they just cut off his contract.
Did they really?
They did. They cut him off.
I thought he paid for life. That's crazy.
I mean, he got a sweet deal.
Oh, I know.
Really,
He had a sweetheart deal. He was making a lot of money off that contract. But that's
That's why you can never depend on these things.
I know. It's all fly by night.
Just like Alex Jones depended on freaking YouTube and Facebook. Like everybody depends on so many of these things, and when they shut you off, that's it.
But that's supposed to be the point of all this, though, too, the decentralization. That's one of the things that I would actually like to highlight. I'm glad you brought that up, Joel, how important it is that you keep as many of your coins as you can on your own wallet with your own private key, and that they are not on an exchange when you can avoid it, because unless you have the private key, you do not own any of this. In fact, I would like to bring up this opportunity for you to tell us about your fun little story about the original exchange that you were on and how amazing of an experience that probably turned out to be.
Oh, that was a terrible experience.
Just enlighten everybody kind of
Here's-
what
you
went on
can't.
with all
Here's
that.
here's the thing: is you can't trust exchanges at all. The problem with the exchanges, it's like a necessary evil, because obviously you need the exchange if you want to do
Trade
some
and
trading.
transact, yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like like I'm on Scott's Trade or E-Trade or something like that, where your funds are protected and there's like regulation and things like that. It's just a wild west. So an exchange can come and go as they please. Like you guys probably heard about what was that exchange called? The first big one. I forgot the name
Oh,
of
you're
it.
talking about Mount Gox, where they were
Yeah,
trading
Mount
for
Gox. Yeah,
where they were trading
yeah,
for magic cards.
yeah. There was even another one called Cryptsy. I remember, like, I thought Cryptsy was legit at one time. You could basically exchange all the different altcoins on there, and then all of a sudden that exchange disappeared too.
That's one thing I'll
Just
say too. For those who don't know, Joel's been doing this longer than any of us. I mean, you were doing this way back in the day. I remember you were the
in
first one who turned me on to
2009.
Bitcoin. You're like, dude,
He was the
Bitcoin's at
first one who even brought up
$1,000.
Bitcoin to me. I'd heard of it, read about it, and I remember you telling us in the kitchen, you're like, you should buy some Bitcoin, and I was like, nah, that stuff's a scam.
Dude, wasn't Bitcoin at like $400 when you told us to do that, or $800?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's like $200, dude.
oh my god, dude!
I mean, I was
would've
pretty
listened
much
to you.
right. Crypto is pretty much a scam, but it, at least if we would have bought it back then, we'd be absolutely loaded. So Joel, toast to you with
Yeah.
the pinkies out.
Thanks.
Great
Toast
job. Very
right
smart
back
man.
at you. The only
Yes, sir.
problem though is I didn't keep my freaking coins. I got too excited. That's the thing, is like that's another thing about trading. Don't be trigger happy.
It's another reason to
Like,
keep your stuff in cold wallet.
and especially if right now, let's say all your money is like destroyed. Like, let's say you bought Verge, and you know right now Verge is what, I don't know.
It's
Is it
around
10?
200 Satoshi. It's somewhere
How
around
much
there.
in dollars? How much in dollars?
How much in dollars? Around 2 cents.
No,
Okay,
that's
so that's terrible. Don't sell your freaking. Don't get 2 cents back. Just wait. You know,
Yeah.
one of these days, Verge might be something. Maybe someone might buy Verge and make it better. Who knows? Because the thing is, I actually had this coin. It was called FTC Feather Coin.
Yep.
Dude, you used to talk about Feathercoin all the time. I remember that.
Yeah, my exchange delisted it. And when all these coins started actually doing good and going up, Feathercoin actually went up. So if I still had that coin, if it was still listed on that exchange, I would have been able to get my money back,
Well,
because I
was
never
the
sold it.
exchange shut down when that was going on, or what happened? How come you
So
couldn't get your Feathercoin when it got delisted? You should have been able to move everything to
so
another
that
exchange
exchange
or wallet.
basically is BTCE. Just so people know, that exchange,
It was
basically
shut
that
down by the
exchange,
government.
it was shut down. But with that exchange too, the coins that they deemed like not really good or not popular or whatever, they just delisted them. And I don't know what they did. I don't know if they converted it automatically to BTC for you, but they delisted the coin. But man, that coin went up more than I bought it for. It just took like what, like 3 or 4 years for that to happen. But it's
Yeah.
better than just selling my coins at like a huge loss.
Oh, 100%. Let's take a look here at just kind of where Bitcoin's at. I don't know how much people have been paying attention, but we do have a broadening wedge on Bitcoin right now, which is very interesting because with a broadening wedge, it can actually be the start of a rebound when you're in a downtrend. It could be an indicator that shows that you're going to be coming back upwards with some upwards movement. And as much as people think that we're going to be going down really hard here soon, we're going to be going sideways in a lot of our opinions. And it's really not that exciting. In fact, if you look at my screen here, I don't know if I can bring this over enough for everybody to see. I can't.
Check.
I've got it covered up here right now. I can't make the adjustment to show it, but I actually have some volume bars on the side that show that this is a huge area of volume that we're in. We're going to stick within these volume candles, and that range is going to be from 6,600 all the way down to around 5,900, 6,000. I mean, we're going to be really bouncing back and forth here for a long time. A lot of people think it'll be months, but the one thing I will say is that nothing lasts for months in crypto. I think that we will see a lot of changes coming up here in the near future.
The problem I foresee is if Bitcoin gets in this 5,800 to 5,400 area, if it goes anywhere near there,
It
I think
won't.
it's
Mining. I promise you, man. I promise you. There's way too many people invested. I know, Dom, you've kind of feel the same way, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, here, just if you guys can look at my screen for 1 second, this is kind of more so. I found this today, and
Yeah, go ahead
I
and
know
share
that-
your screen here. Sweet.
But yeah, so my screen.
Yep.
This
I
is
can see
more
your
so
screen.
something I kind of agree with. If you look right here, I think that this is going to be our next month. I think this is going to be October for us. I think we're going to see a massive rise. I think we're going to see some fall off that rise, but I think we're going to keep collecting into these higher lows until we get back to, like you and I were talking about earlier, probably that $10,000 range. We'll probably see one more flash dump down. I mean, we could get all the way back up over 22 and then see another major collapse down. But this is more so, even though it's not exactly, but more
Yeah,
so.
that's a really long-term chart that you're showing there for sure, from what I
It
can
is. I
see.
wish I could zoom in and show you more, but this right here, if you look at where my hand is right here, this is where I feel like we could be. Are we? Maybe, maybe not. But this is where I feel like we could definitely be right now for just the near future, the
Yeah.
next few months.
Oh yeah, with that drop back down. I mean, I we talked about it. I really felt like we could see a rise to around 10,000 on just, which would basically just be an indication that the fall is over and the bear season is come to rest, which I truly believe. I really don't think we're going to see these massive falls that people are talking about. I think we're going to have a lot of sideways movement here going forward. So I think that we are not in the despair stage yet. All these people are sitting here thinking that we got to get all the way down to 3,000 or 4,000 to be in the despair stage. I don't know.
I think
even if it does go down there, like if I paid whatever 6,000 for, I wouldn't feel bad.
buy more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it went down there, dude, I would be starting to figure out how to actually pull money together to buy a lot more. I don't think we're gonna get there though. It hasn't. We've had a triple bottom so far. I know we've talked about a lot of random stuff today. Let me jump really fast over to kind of what I wanted to hit on today for us. So we talked about where we're at right now with the wedge. Now we're in despair. I don't think that we're gonna get down there. If we do get down there, I think like you and I talked about in the first episode, Brandon, I think that it'll be more of a flash crash. I just can't see it.
Yeah, if we go down in that area, I think it'll be something that's just like instantaneous, and it's going to be over within a day, 2 days. It's just going to BART right out of it and do one of those BART tops where it just recovers immediately because all the bots buy up all the coins instantaneously.
Right.
I think it's a triangle that needs to finish.
I think the triangle's almost finished. In fact, I'll show on the screen here for everybody to see kind of where I'm at on all this stuff. I mean, this triangle is getting, shorter and shorter. The distance between up and down is getting more and more compressed. And really, I have it finishing in around November, October, November breakout. And is it going to go up to 20,000? I don't think so, but I do think that we're going to get out of this triangle for the first time this year, at the end of this year.
When we see a change like that, in regards to just investing, period, I think right now, for the time being, the stock market's kind of where to be right now. And then when we start seeing like Bitcoin catching real bids,
That's a great point that you bring up there, Joel. I know, Dom, you and I have talked about this a lot, and the relationship between Bitcoin and the dollar, the U.S. dollar, the dollar index. If you look at it on the forex exchanges, I mean, the dollar is like double topped right now. In fact, I think I can bring it up on the screen here. I think it's DXY. Yeah, U.S. dollar currency index here. We had it top come down, and there's a very good chance that we're going to see the value of the dollar go down here in the near future.
Which is definitely going to be good for Bitcoin.
Oh, of course it is. There's a direct correlation between the value of the U.S. dollar because look at gold has gotten smashed this year. Gold is down 10%, which like never happens. And Bitcoin and gold right now are the same type of thing. I mean, they're a store of value. They're to hedge against the loss in value of fiat, and that's exactly what's going on. The reason we've had such a bad bear market this year is because the value of the dollar has just gone gangbusters. The value of the U.S. stock market has just gone gangbusters, and it's going to all climax together at the same time. And as the United States economy starts to enter into some kind of a pullback, you're going to see the cryptocurrency market start to rise.
I feel that I feel it's kind of related with what the Federal Reserve is doing, how they're basically buying the debt.
Printing money to buy the debt.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, printing money to buy the debt. So, basically, yeah, Pickle Rick. Basically, it's propping the dollar up,
Quality.
and then I don't know if Trump's involved in it with any way, but anything to basically make everybody think that what's going on is not going on. Like everybody's thinking like the economy's doing great, everything's going good, the dollar's up, but that's not actually a good thing.
Well, I'll tell you a couple things that I don't know if they're necessarily true or not, but I've watched a lot of economists talk about the fact that a lot of it is propped up. That the employment
Have you seen that Joe
numbers-
Rogan podcast with that economist on there?
Yeah, totally. In fact, that's something that we'll keep in the description here at the end. It's an interesting take to watch. I'll pull it up here. You guys kind of continue on the subject, but essentially he's saying that we were due for a crash a long time ago. After this real estate crash that we had, we were due for a crash. It's been 10 years since we've seen the most major of bubble pops, and we just extended out the bubble rather than letting it take place. And we're gonna be in for a bruising here on fiat, and the world economy is gonna have a huge crash, according to him. Whether that's gonna happen.
I mean, I'm not sure if I buy that 100%, but it's a very important thing to at least consider.
Yeah.
We're in the crash
because you can't
cycle.
just keep bull running forever. I mean, that's you're going to see a pullback. We had a shit economy for a really long time, and we've experienced a tremendous amount of growth that in part has been propped up by the things that we just discussed, primarily the Fed and the interest rates. So you have a situation where real estate has quote unquote rebounded, but it's still a bubble. There's so many bubbles going on right now. Cryptocurrency is a bubble to a certain extent. I mean, it
was
depends
a
on
bubble
how
that popped last year.
depends on how, yeah, exactly. But if you feel about it, how you come out on the other side. So I think we all need to be cautiously optimistic, and that's one of the things that Brandon was preaching earlier in the podcast is that hey, you got to be really smart. You got to be caring about your bank account. Number one, growing these coins, it's excellent, but stuff can just evaporate. It's the same with the stock market. And one thing I would just like to say, this segment right here is brought to you by New Amsterdam vodka, and because I drink it, and they're paying me for it. So,
Are you serious?
cheers with the Pinkies out.
Oh
Pinkies Out
yeah.
podcast.
This is brought to you by Yerba Mate.
New Amsterdam vodka is paying you guys.
They are now.
So I also
Dude,
want to
that
show this to the
vodka-
viewers
that's
here.
That's like the cheapest vodka you can buy at the store.
Oh no,
bro.
it's I'd say it's a great value actually. It's
Seagram's.
Does it
I mean,
give you
come
a- does
on.
it give you a glass bottle?
yeah, they give you a glass bottle. Actually, if you're gonna ask me, the Costco vodka is a pretty darn good value if you're gonna go down.
Oh,
that road.
that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean,
So here, I just want to show everybody, all the viewers, the podcast we're talking about is the Joe Rogan Experience. It's episode 1002 with Peter Schiff. Get an opportunity to
shit.
check it out. It's something that's very, very interesting. He's a very well-educated man. He's actually been on before, 1145. Actually, I would say it's not the 1002. It's the episode 1145 is his most recent one. And they talk quite a bit because he's done, he has a few other videos that are really good where he talks about why Bitcoin is going to fail. And I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that he
I
has to
disagree
say.
with it.
I disagree with a lot of it, but at the same time, it's important to know what people are talking about when it comes to a crash in the economy and how that could affect everything that's going on.
I agree with a lot of things he talks about with gold.
Totally. He's like Mr. Gold. In fact,
The
did
problem-
you see that he has that like gold bank account card where all your
Yeah.
funds are held in gold and
That's a
they
great idea.
physically hold gold for you? And when you spend money, they like take away your gold. It was interesting.
The only thing with that is just like it's the same thing. It's just like someone else has
precisely.
control. Yeah.
I
So,
agree with that totally. I mean, you just again what I was saying, you got to just be careful. I mean, it's all about diversification. Gold is an excellent hedge against inflation, and that's how you have to treat it. The U.S. dollar is still our strongest store of wealth. That and real estate, which
It's
of
the
course
world
is
currency too. That's the other thing you can't forget.
Yeah. You just got to be smart and you got to be able to move on a dime. That's why I think all of us here are obsessed to a certain degree about all, a lot of the stuff that we're talking about here.
So Dom, what are your predictions for end of the year with BTC?
So here's my uncertainty right now, and this is where I don't even know if you and I have talked about this yet. I'm wondering where we're going to be in October. There's so many things that I'm seeing where it looks like October is going to be a really, really cool month. And really cool now is not like, holy shit, we're rich. It's, hey, we're not bleeding out. We've stacked a little bit of cash.
Yep.
Now you're going to have an option. Do we pull out and do we ride it back down? Does it go back down? I think it does. Does it maybe go up more than that? Does it go up to 20K by the end of the year? I don't know. I think October, though, will be a big month. And if not October, then definitely November, December. A really big part of me does not believe we're going to reach an ATH until at least January, February, maybe. But I definitely know that by come March, April next year, that's when it's going to be time to play. If you look at even the bars, what's really interesting too is I can't remember whose graph it was I was looking at, but it was basically like 265 days per each cycle, and then you see a jump. And so right now, I read this maybe 3-4 days ago, and we're about 2 weeks out from the next big jump, which would kind of line up with that October theory. If you guys think I'm wrong, tell me. I mean, that's just what I'm seeing. It's what I think. I know right now we're going sideways. We're pretty damn close on the Ichimoku clouds.
Yep. In fact, I'll turn that on here. I
was gonna say I'll jump in here a little bit because it's one of the things. I mean, I think you're spot on with the chart analysis. One of the things that I've mentioned to Brandon over and over again, you have these forces that we're not going to see a big run up, in my opinion, like we did last year. Every time we see any significant gains, you see the sell off instantaneously. So we always have this big push. The buyers are here, but then the sellers just keep, and you've got then the leverage trading on top of that. It's a big.
Oh my God, the leverage trading. Good God.
It's very frustrating.
Poor. I'd be so poor.
Yeah.
Dude, leverage
so I agree with your assessment completely. It's like I think we're all wishing that we have a December like we did last year, and
it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, as much as I want to give news to the contrary, that hold on, boys, Lambos are on me.
Yeah. So let's talk about situations where that could happen. There's two things that I've seen. Number one, Dominic and I read a very interesting article where they did the math on everything, and the year-end Bitcoin total was $24,000 based off of just statistical history, math, and how high it's supposed to rise versus where it will rise. That's something to take into account. And then the other thing is, of course, it's just a rumor. I would say 99% it's not going to happen, but there has been rumor that they're going to approve the ETH here at the end of this month, or ETF at the end of this month, and that would obviously just send everything to 45,000 like overnight, which would just be absolute insanity.
Yeah, but to the contrary, remember you and I spoke about this the other day, and we had a really solid convo about it. I just don't think it's ready for prime time. It's so volatile at this point, and the absence of regulation. We are so many steps away from solid regulation. It's also, to Joel's point earlier, this is very much a wild, wild west.
Yeah.
And so the ACH is a step in the right direction, but is that going to come before the legitimizing of the exchanges where you see less volatility? These altcoins, like the power in all of this cryptocurrency is anonymity.
Yep.
The anonymous coins are really
and being
the reason
this. Yep.
And that stands in complete contrast to the way all world governments want this to ultimately play out. So we're at odds. You've got, the pirates, and then you got the, the governments that are wanting to hold everything. And it's like, if it's up to the privacy markets, all of those coins would be, just rip roaring. But look what happened. Great.
However, we have also seen Trump has appointed a new nominee who's very pro crypto, who's going to be in charge of the SEC's decision. The thing that you have to really realize with the ETF, though, is that the second they approve one of them, that means that they're going to approve like a handful of them.
Yes.
So it's a big deal for them to say green light on that. Joel, you were going to say something.
Question about like privacy coins. So I know like Virgin stuff, but what coin do you guys think is currently the best?
Monero, man, it's the thing that they're using on the dark web to sell drugs, and there's value in The fact that the ring signatures and everything work. I mean, Verge wouldn't be adding all these ring signatures from the Monero coding if they didn't work. And that's one of the biggest problems with Verge right now, in my opinion, is that it's not as anonymous as they make it out to be. And it's a big problem. It's one of the reasons that it drops so much in value. As you get down to the nitty gritty and look at the technology behind everything, Monero is the most private coin right now. And there's a reason.
What about the roadmap for Verge? Do they have anything to fix these problems?
This is Dom's court. I can't wait for this.
So, dude, it's so funny. I just checked it this morning, and I've been checking every day for weeks now. And no matter what they say or any of their people that promote them, and I have a lot of Verge. I hold a lot of Verge. I enjoy Verge, but do I think that they're moving that code base? No, I don't. I think that they're either they have it done or they're struggling with it. But either way, it's been at 90 for too long. And I like to think in my head, and just as a business person, if they see it the way that I do, where they have their own stake in it, but it's not anything that they were granted to begin with. Anything that they have in it, they want to build better. And so the best way to build what you have would be to release good information when Bitcoin is rising. If Bitcoin is fucking blown up, excuse my language, if Bitcoin is blown up and all of a sudden they release good code base for it, then it's way more appealing to someone to buy. But right now with Bitcoin, the uncertainty, where we're at in the wedge, the ricochet that's going on the end of the triangle, like to release information at the wrong time is like, cool, we went up a couple of points, but no one cares because they want to know if Bitcoin's going to make it or not. You know what I mean? That's like that thought.
I ran into that with Dent. Dent was coming out with their first Android app and Apple app, and I was waiting for it to come out, and I was waiting for the pop, and it popped in Satoshi, but Bitcoin was crashing so hard that I ended up losing money, even though I was gaining Satoshi on the move. So I completely agree with your assessment there.
Yeah, I mean, Bitcoin is, like you said earlier, Bitcoin's mama. And when mama is not performing the way that we need mama to be performing, then anything else that we're dealing with currently in the market is just, it's not going to perform either. You know, I think
mama better perform.
This is off subject. It's one of my topics I want to talk about today, but slightly off subject right now. Redcoin. I don't know if anyone's watched. Redcoin went up 75%. It's been hanging out at about 50% gain, and it's still, over the last 2 days, has had green moments compared to everything else. Does anyone have any?
What is the ticker on Redcoin?
Is Redcoin the coin that is like for gambling?
No, it's internet currency. It's like it's a lot like Kin, actually, from everything that I've read. What's the ticker for Redcoin, Dominic?
It is. Wait. Hold on. 1 second. I'm pulling it all up right now. So Redcoin right now is sitting at a third, so almost a fourth.
Go ahead and share your screen if you would, Dom.
So it's actually
if you want to look at what's the ticker on there, so I can pull it up here so everybody can see it along with us.
So I'm actually on Blockfolio right now.
I know. What is the ticker for Redcoin?
RDD.
Okay. That's
Excellent.
all I
While
wanted
Brandon's
to know.
pulling that up, let me just go ahead and toast with the Pinkies out to the Pinkies Out podcast, everybody.
Yeah. Wow,
Excellent.
This is interesting. So Redcoin actually breached into the Ichimoku cloud, and it's had a huge rejection from the Ichimoku cloud.
But it's though. It's surprisingly. I capped out
it
of
has
mine.
held, but I would caution you that it's going to come down here to match up with what is that? The 50 Satoshi level is where I'd expect. In fact, it already pulled back and then came back up a little bit, but you're going to see it kind of float back to that 50 Satoshi level, in my opinion, where you're at currently.
I'm gonna have to definitely look at this. Yeah, Redcoin's one of those ones for anyone that wants to get a little background of this. I randomly, I don't know, it might have been a drunken day. Brandon and I last year were making good money, and at one point we were following this guy on Twitter named Hygen, who's got some.
Oh, Hygen.
Yeah, that's an evil swear word in this house.
Hygen is not good.
But that I regret now. I mean, he was like, "Oh, this
Where does Hygen live?"
I know, right?
This is the Middle Fingers Out podcast.
Middle Fingers Out podcast for Hygen Lee.
Good morning, good evening, and fuck you, Hygen Lee.
Hygen Lee. Wherever you are in this world, I will come and find you, and I will kill you and your family. Oh,
all right, yeah.
Gosh.
Go ahead, though. Go ahead, though.
That's a whole other discussion for another day.
Yeah.
And Hygen would be like, "Oh, your coin right now that's 2 cents. Check this out. 3 days, $16." And we were like, holy crap. And he'd have all the stuff to prove it. I mean, not that high, obviously, but it was like you were looking at massive gains, 2 cents to 16 cents. Verge, I think he was saying it was going to like $1.15 or like
He had
48
it going to $3 and like
He had it
40
going to
cents,
$3.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff. You're like, all right, this sounds good. I'm just gonna sit here, and you have no idea.
He should put timestamps on it. Like, yeah, it'll go to $3 in the
No, but
year
that was his whole
2050.
thing, is that
Wrong,
he
though.
can't predict the time. He can only tell you where it's going to go eventually, but he can't tell you how much time it will take to get there.
Yeah, you can make a lot of money.
Hopefully it does, because I'll wait.
Not to
I can't
interject here,
tell you when
too,
you're gonna die. I can just tell you that you're gonna get there.
right? Right. And not to interject here too, Dom, but Redcoin's looking really bad as far as it holding its money. It's got a ton of bearish divergence going on right now on the MACD. The RSI was oversold, and you're seeing the RSI come down. It's got bearish divergence on both the RSI and the MACD, and it's got rejection of the Ichimoku cloud. I would whatever gains you have on your Redcoin, I would take them.
To be honest, with all these coins, all the charts look the same. They all look like the
I
Bitcoin
completely
chart.
disagree with that. I completely disagree with that.
I just
But
don't. Give me an
that's
example.
another
Give me
conversation we have
give
later.
me a good example right now. Let's look at a chart that does not look, because all these charts have the same like angle down that I'm seeing.
No,
Like,
let's take a
looking
look at
the
Dash
Redcoin
right now.
chart.
Dash has been pretty strong.
Okay, let's look at Dash.
Fuel right now.
Dash is doing the same thing right now, though. Dash went up into the Ichimoku cloud, and it's rejecting in the Ichimoku cloud. It's showing bearish divergence. It's also showing bearish divergence on the RSI.
What
I'm a
time
big
frame
fan of
are you looking
Ethereum,
at?
actually. Believe it or not, the reason I hopped into Ethereum is because Ethereum was oversold on the RSI. You can see right here. It also is showing slight forms of bullish divergence on the MACD. It's also showing a slight form of bullish divergence on the RSI. We're going to have a rebound in Ethereum. Is it going to happen right away? No, but its chart is actually looking really good for an entry point right now, in my opinion. I think we're going to go all the way up. Where's the Ichimoku cloud rejection on Ethereum right now? Ichimoku cloud rejection is around $347 in a worst case scenario. 304. So we're going back up to 300 in my opinion on Ethereum. It's a good buy.
So I'm looking at the Dash chart now. I'm looking at the Redcoin. I'm looking at it actually on Coin Market Cap. So I don't know what time frame you're looking
Coin
at.
Market
but
Cap. I'm on TradingView, homie.
Yeah, Trading View is good,
yeah.
but I'm looking at it like the year to date. Like, I'm
Okay,
looking at
so
the bigger chart.
What are you looking at right
frame.
now so I can pull it up on my screen here?
Coin Market Cap.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Can you share your screen for us, Joel, so we can all see what you're looking at?
I have no idea how to do that.
In
That's
the top
problem.
right-hand corner, there's three little dots.
Dots. Okay.
You hit the three dots, and you should be able to share your screen.
Okay. Give me one moment here. Let's pull up this beautiful chart here, guys. Okay, I actually have to call a client soon, so let me show you this really quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna say really quick while we're taking a break and he's pulling that up, dude. And if anyone's watching me right now, I'm eating like a fat pig. I had a wine tasting day from 12 to 3, dude. I'm trying to do this right now, man. Banana bread.
Oh yeah, banana bread.
God
Good
damn.
call. Soak up all that booze.
We have, for sure, too, we got to jump around. There's a few other things I definitely want to talk about with you guys. I'll give you a little rundown for anyone that's watching and kind of wants to get an idea of where we're at.
Okay, can you guys see the screen?
Yeah, we can. You just got to talk so that it pulls up your screen rather than someone else's.
Okay, there we go. So here's, for example, here's Dash on the screen, right?
Mhm.
So let me pull up another chart. Coin Market Cap. So this is the year to date, right? Okay, what was the other coin we're looking at? Redcoin.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what are you trying to show us on the chart then? That it's all down right now? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying all the charts look pretty similar.
Oh well, see,
I mean,
here's
they're not exactly the same, but I mean, if you look at like a larger time frame,
totally. You're looking at a large overall time frame, which is good. The things that I'm talking about right now, Joel, are the immediate moves that are going to occur in the near future. So when you look at things like the MACD, when you look at things like the RSI, they're not perfect indicators, but they can also tell you what direction everything is headed in. It's the same thing with the Ichimoku cloud. We've had a ton of respect for the Ichimoku cloud and the resistances that present themselves in crypto. In fact, technical
did I tell you about
analysis.
Ichimoku Cloud before?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've been spending a lot of time on technical analysis. I'm not just speaking out of my ass right now. I know quite a bit about what I'm talking about. The biggest things that I'm trying to research right now is pattern development and recognizing patterns. That's probably my biggest weakness. But when it comes to reading indicators like the Ichimoku cloud, the MACD, and the RSI, I am pretty well versed on all that. It's one of the reasons that the decisions I've been making lately are a lot smarter than I have been in the past.
I like using the Ichimoku for short term stuff. For the tough part with these like long term charts is like it's hard to like kind of predict this
You
where this
can't predict
bottom.
long term.
Yeah.
Anyone who says they can is just full of it. You can just react to what the market is doing currently, in my opinion. What do I know though?
Yeah, I like the using those indicators. Like if I'm doing like short term things, like in and out, take some cash, you know. But right now, it's like it's hard to, you know. I'm looking at some of these long term charts, and the thing is, I've been doing the Bitcoin thing since 2009, right? And it's just so unpredictable. The just the sweet spot I knew when it was at 250, it was just kind of consolidating there for a long time. And I kind of think that's what we need here. You know, I think we need a little bit more time of consolidation before we see a big pump upward like we did before.
So right now, just for time's sake, I'm gonna run us through the last few questions here.
Mm-hmm.
I like
Yeah.
it. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's just for time's sake. I feel I love this show and I love, just kind of going off with everyone, but we got to keep everything strict. I want everyone to know where we're at too. So real quick, just yes or no's for everyone and a quick why. Everyone's chanting BTC low thousands. I think we already talked about that. Probably not going to happen. Maybe a nice catch. Does anyone disagree?
I don't disagree. No.
I don't disagree at all.
I think if we see that area I was talking about, like in the 5400, 5700, if we see Bitcoin playing around there, we might have a lower dip. But until something like that confirms, you know, I'm pretty much on the thing like on Brandon's like it's just that, you know, things are gonna kind of stay in this range. It's gonna be range bound for a while.
Yeah.
I don't see a big move happening though until like maybe further consolidation happens and we see what happens with this whole US dollar shenanigans.
Yeah. For everyone watching, we're going to go into Ethereum. What do you guys think about Ethereum? Do you think that we are going to see what is the lowest that you have graphed?
I think we just saw it at 169.50. I mean, I don't think we're going to break that resistance. I think it's been shorted all heck and back. At least in the short term, we're going to see a rebound. They're going to squeeze out all the shorts that are sitting on Ethereum. It is way oversold right now. Way oversold.
Agreed. It's one of the main cryptos, and it's not done yet. So
I feel Ethereum's oversold too. I also feel Litecoin. Yeah, Litecoin I feel is kind of
Let's pull up
oversold as well.
Litecoin here real quick. I'll let you know. LTC to BTC. Well, let's take a look at the USD. I really like looking at the USD charts here. Litecoin to the dollar on Bitfinex right now. Litecoin is pretty close. It's not quite 100% oversold, but it is towards the bottom of RSI. We're sitting at like 33 on the RSI. Oversold would be anything at 30 or below. We are showing bearish divergence right now, though, which is not good. We also had a death cross on it as well.
Oh, hey, Brandon, like, not to interrupt, but like one of the things that we talked about the other day, like, let's next podcast really dive in to those terms that you're throwing around for all the noobs out there that are tuning in for the pure entertainment value. Let's take some time to really educate everybody on some of these terms.
I'd be happy to do that. I mean, we're all about education here, and it's something that is really important to know. It's just the death cross right now, just because that would be a good one to focus on right now, is when the 50 and the 100 MA or the 200 MA end up crossing. In this case, the 50 and the 100 that are crossing the short term on the daily. And we saw a huge drop already. We saw Litecoin go from 68 down to 52 when we first got that death cross, and we're still showing bearish divergence, which means that more people are selling than buying right now. So we'll probably see another dip on Litecoin till this
I'm seeing the
RSI
$30
gets
Litecoin
oversold.
like 36, 35.
I think that we'll see where is this dip gonna go to here? I'd have to go over to the side here. I'll try and take a quick peek. Maybe I can move you
It's in
guys out
like
of
a
the way for
falling.
just a
It's in
second
like a
here.
falling wedge. I see it kind of completing this wedge before we see like a real upside move on Litecoin, which is a great
I
opportunity
don't have
because
Litecoin dropping much further than 42. There's huge amounts of resistance. If you see the volume that exists in these areas, I mean, I just don't see it dropping below 40, 42, 43.
you know what's a cool indicator, the on balance volume, or it's like a volume indicator chart. Let's see. I think
Yeah,
you have
so
to
I
pay.
use for volume, I like using VPVR, and it puts it's an indication of the volumes that you receive. Gosh. It's an indication of the volume that you receive in the area at which the value exists on the coin. The VPVR, I think you generally are going to have a paid version of
You have to have a paid version.
TradingView to use
Yeah.
it. But right now I'm on the 30-day trial, and on the 30-day trial, they will allow you to access it. So
Can
if
you
it's
can
something
you
you want to
show us
check
that
out.
chart for Litecoin really quick?
Yeah, we're looking at the Litecoin chart right now. I don't know that I can necessarily share it. Let me see if I can actually share my screen with you guys, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be good. Because I don't have that plugin because you have to have a paid account. Which at this point
Can you
I
guys
should
see
probably
that?
get that. No.
Maybe I gotta click on something else since I try to share my screen here. Oh, okay, here we go. Yeah, so if I share my screen here, can you guys see it now?
Yep. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the chart I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
so this over here is the VPVR, and it just shows you like at what dollar amount the most volume occurred. And right now, that's one of the things that's very interesting. If you notice, is a trend that's going on right now.
Minimize your Google Hangouts. It's
Uh,
in the way.
Just move it. No, move it to the far right of
I
the
know
screen.
I've got it pinned though. That's the thing. So
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah.
so if you notice what's going on, none of our friends can see this, but that's okay, I guess. If you notice what's going on is even though we're down here at lower levels, we're actually experiencing higher volume than we have this entire year. It's really weird. So obviously shorts are just going nutso right now. People are eating up the market on shorts right now. There is more involvement in crypto right now at this given time than there has been all year, and it's still going down because people
So this
are
might be a novice question, but what the hell is driving this negativity in the market? You got all these players that are betting it down.
okay.
You
That's
gotta
a great
you gotta
question. So
follow
the
you
answer to
gotta
that,
follow where the money is.
well, yeah. So the answer to that is what the hell made Bitcoin go to 20,000 in December? It's FOMO. It's fear of
Emotion.
missing out. And what we have right now are institutional investors who know how to short and know that there is what in their mind guaranteed money watching this stuff go down, and they're all hopping in and trying to ride on the train. And what's going to happen is they're at one point when all this flips around on its head, there are going to be a lot of people get wrecked the same exact way that the people who've been sitting in since January have gotten wrecked, hanging onto the coins. All these people with shorts, they are just going to lose their pants.
So
when
you're
it
you're
flips.
making the argument that the institution is going to lose essentially.
I'm not making the argument the institution is going to lose. I'm making the argument there's a lot more people who are figuring out how to short with leverage, and they're playing in a pond that they shouldn't be playing in. There's going to be a lot of people that are probably not necessarily institutional that are going to lose a lot of money because they don't know what they're doing, and they're sitting here shorting things at the end of a correction, and they're going to end up owing a lot of money because when they short with leverage, they owe a lot more than what they were willing to risk to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Well, this I don't know, just like
I don't know.
my view on that. That's what it was kind of my point earlier. It just seems like that's what's happened with BTC overall is that we can't really get a big breakthrough because we've got so much downward pressure. People just betting on it. There's more downward pressure than there is upward buyers. It's
100%.
perplexing.
But that's
Those
because
people
they're
that were
all
doing those
they're all
shorts
making
made
those
a
bets with
lot of
leverage
money.
on these exchanges. So they end up buying like 100 Bitcoin to the one that they put on the table. It's crazy.
Fair enough.
Hey, real quick.
Hey, guys, I actually have to head out. I gotta call a
Cool.
client here. But
Well,
yeah,
we
it
got
was
a
fun.
few more things to cover. You can go ahead and drop off, Jersey, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank
Pinky
you
out, guys.
for man.
And then there were three.
Yep. So crypto, Twitter. What are your feelings on getting all your crypto information from Twitter, Dom?
So it's so funny. I wrote this in our notes today because I wanted to cover for anyone that is new at this, intermediate at this, or advanced at this, don't read crypto Twitter. It is the news. The news is never good news. I can't tell you the last time I watched the news and I was like, oh my God, a little girl didn't fall down the well and people aren't dead. I've never seen it once say we cured cancer. It is always such a crap out session and it totally messes your mind. Don't listen to it. Do your own research or listen to people that are at least trying to pay attention as opposed to just spamming random shit to everyone. Don't get caught up. The only reason I bring this up is because I have not used it in so long, and now that I'm looking at it every now and then again, I can see how when I first started off, I was using that all the time.
Oh, it's
and
the
now
worst,
it
man.
can destroy you. It can destroy you, dude.
So let me ask you this then: where should you get your news from?
Honestly, the same places that you and I do. I mean, if you're looking at trading,
better question: where do you get your news from?
So to be quite honest with you, I get a lot of my news personally I follow just the news of what each company is doing. If I'm looking at where everything is going, I have a few of my favorite top people that chart on YouTube that I follow, that I subscribe to. I have a couple people that are using BitMEX, so we can't use that in the U.S. here, but
you can if you're an institution. If you have you can form an LLC. Just to higher level stuff, not anybody would do it, but you can form an LLC and become an actual institution, and it is legal. I'm sure there's illegal ways to use a VPN, but you can legally trade as an institution, just not as a little man trader in the U.S. Regular Joe.
Dangerous game, but something to still consider. I don't know if I feel like I'm quite ready for that yet.
Oh, I don't even want to touch it with a 50-foot pole. You also spend a lot of time on TradingView too, don't you?
I do. I like to examine, and I would say that I see a lot of the same things, but I've never been one for the herd. I don't believe the herd is typically right. I believe that it's the people that, here's a good example. Back in 2010, I had a buddy saying, hey, I think it was 2010. I believe the date is irrelevant. It's somewhere within the year range of that. My boy was like, hey, let's invest in Bitcoin. And, I was going to put 10 grand into it and I didn't. Big mistake. I had a point that I was making with this. I have no idea anymore.
Pinkies out, buddies. Pinkies out.
Pinkies out. Pinkies
So
out.
if anyone doesn't know, dude, I've been drinking wine since 12 o'clock today. I'm sorry. I have points I want to make, but it's getting harder and harder.
Well, that's fine. So I'm just going to cut in a little bit there too. I want to tell everybody that Reddit is a very good source of getting information, but the only thing you need to do is subscribe to the actual subreddit of the coin that you research. And if you follow it and you spend some time reading up on everything, the only danger involved with Reddit is a lot of the times you can become a fanboy and a shill, and you're so excited because it's all you do and all you read every single day, and every single time something comes out, you're super excited. I'd also like to give a shout out to TA with Mitch Ray. I think that is the absolute best program on YouTube right now. He is one of the most pessimistic and one of the best people with TA that I've ever seen in my entire life. If you want to go and get some good knowledge about what's going on with coins and really want to know what's going on, it's a great place for resources. In fact, I'll pull it up just to promote him just a little bit here because he is the man.
Well, he's second only to the Pinkies Out podcast.
Of course. We got to be specific about what's going on here.
Totally different, dude. That's TA versus philosophy.
Yeah.
Here's the channel right here, TA, which with Mitch Ray. Looks like the Alabama symbol. He goes live twice a day, usually at 2 p.m. Pacific and 6 or 8 p.m. Pacific. I'm not 100%. It fluctuates on certain days, but he's a lot of fun. He's really, really great with the advice that he gives to people, and he'll never make predictions on coin amounts, and he will always make fun of you for thinking that something's going to go up when the entire market's going down, and that's really healthy because everybody else is going to be telling you that everything's going to moon and you're going to miss out and you just got to buy now and hold on for dear life, and it's just like the worst advice you could ever get. Hygiene. But
Damn you,
damn you, Hygiene. So I know you had a few more questions. Ken, is it a good time to buy? I do think it's a good time to buy right now, and I'll tell you why I think it's a good time to buy, Ken. Number one, it's not a major exchange. Number two, we've seen 50% devaluation as a result of wallet number 4 dumping onto the scene, and it was addressed by Ted, who is leading up the entire project and saying that they were an early purchaser of the coins. They were a pre-purchase, they were a big order, and they've got a lot of bills to pay. Imagine that. crypto investment firm has a lot of bills to pay right now because a lot of the things are coming due. So I think their big sell-off is hopefully done for. I also, it is tied to Ethereum, and I feel like Ethereum is going to be rebounding here shortly. So Kin is a great purchase right now because it is devalued. It went from ranked like 50th on CoinMarketCap. It's all the way down at like 100 and pulled back to 95 currently.
1/4 from where I recently purchased that. Right now, that's what I'm saying is, Brando, what do you think? You think this is going to go down anymore? I mean, I think
I do not. No, I do not. And here's the other reason why. October 2nd, they are going to start moving from beta into live, actual working products. They have over 40 different applications that are going to incorporate Kin and start building a digital economy. And as people start to use the coin, it's really going to grow in value. I think that if everything goes to plan, that we could see 5x returns by April of next year. I mean, that's huge on an investment within the next 6 months.
We talked about this last episode. Kin could already be huge just because of the fact that right now, if you have 2,500 Kin, you have, what is it, $25 off on Airbnb? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Totally. But it's also subsidized right now. And what they are doing is placing a value at a penny for when everything is fully live and there's a fully functioning economy, which of course is for that to take place, you're going to need people to be wanting to buy it with fiat currency, swipe in their credit card to purchase Kin so that they can buy the super cape of destruction in the game that they're using, or so that they can send messages in their chat. I mean, whatever it is that they want to do. But I can tell you Kin's a lot closer than a lot of these paper thin cryptos that are just nothing but smoke and mirrors and air.
So exciting, dude. It is literally so exciting. The idea of that, like, this is everything that we've watched. I mean, dude, just for you and I, man, we've been watching this for over, a year and a half now, year plus. And we've watched it come from just like, oh, cool, I can invest in these random numbers and digits to like having actual platforms they're working off of. How cool is that?
It's so cool. The other thing, rumor-wise, that I was telling you about last night, the super secret squirrel sauce here, Stellar X is coming out with an exchange here, or Stellar is coming out with the Stellar X exchange, zero-fee exchange that is going to allow you to trade your coins here. One of the things that I had us all do, I'll go ahead and pull this up on screen, is you can sign up for the pre-access to the exchange itself. All the assets are going to be peer-to-peer. It's going to be on Stellar's blockchain. It's fast and it's actually free. Transactions settle in seconds. Stellar actually has a really good blockchain. Kin is a derivative of the Stellar. They actually forked off of it, and you're able to get just tons and tons of transactions. I mean, right now, Stellar, I think, is tested at 4 million transactions per minute, if I'm not mistaken. And don't quote me on that, but you can sign up for early access, and in a lot of cases they're going to let us get in there, and it is going to be a fee-free exchange, and it's going to be decentralized. I mean, there's so many cool things about the Stellar Exchange, and basically the reason I bring this up is there is quite a bit of rumor. Kin is going to be moving on to a major exchange. The Stellar X exchange is most likely going to be a major exchange. In fact, holy shit. Do you see this?
No, I can't see your
Oh
screen.
my god.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show us.
Oh my god. Where is my screen share here? You guys see my screen now?
We sure do.
Do you see where it says Kin right here?
Mm-hmm.
Stellar X and Kin is listed right there.
Oh wow. It's all kitties out there. Pinkies out. Invest
Yeah.
in
We
invest
just
in
found
Kin.
the exchange. Look at that philosophy with Pinkies out, dude.
With Pinkies
That's right.
out.
All day, every day. Dom, I love how you're drinking. I gotta say, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, would you try 100 different wines today? I mean, that's part of your job, right? But
100.
This is my best Dom impression.
So I had to do a Sunday, and we walk in, and there's 4 different basically countries, and I got through 100. We actually that was 3/4 of the way through. So after 100 wines, 3/4 of the way through, I had to come home because I knew I had to do this, and I had enough wine to still drink here. But I will tell you, I've ate this whole podcast, and my soul does hurt.
I was crushing. Shout out to the most delicious. I don't know the brand. Some crazy good peanuts. Trying to sober up. Been drinking tough.
Where do you live? Where are you at?
Oh, me and Brandon are
you can't be
roommates.
telling the internet where we live. Come on, man.
No, I was gonna say, if you're in the same town we are,
Yeah.
next time we do, what we'll do is, I know we were talking to all the viewers about actually doing a podcast where we also talked about wine. I have the wine for us. It's
Wonderful.
gonna be amazing. I would love to have all of us meet up, sit down. We can bust these computers out, and we can all drink the same wine, talk to our
Outstanding.
people.
Love
And
it.
Outstanding.
I will show you where to get it. It is so damn good. So I've got the wine for the next one. It's just when you guys can meet up. So
We might have to bust out the good microphone for that one.
We've got I was thinking about that in the first infancy of today's episode, is that Brandon and I have the necessary tech to have a really nice round table
Yep, omnidirectional
live
microphone
event with multiple cameras, and we can switch it, and everybody has their own, and then we get a kind of
Very,
not eye in the sky, but
very
we can
Joe
do it.
Rogan-esque.
Yeah.
I like that. It's very pinky out of the round.
Now, just while we're on the
Exactly.
subject, Dom, you do have some wine to talk about, do you not?
Dude, I have so many wines to talk about. I am currently trying a couple for my restaurant. If you guys are looking in that $12 range,
I love that
don't
you're
know.
always in the $12 range. It makes me so happy.
So what's gonna happen is I'll end up changing it. It's gonna be well over the $70 range. So when we sit down, I've got one for us. I've got a couple that are 60, a couple that are 70. We'll figure out which one we'll talk about it. But right now, what I'm doing is by the glass, my restaurant. Dude, if you guys are looking for bang for your buck, this is the right spot for you because I'm gonna tell you right now, this Chelsea Goldschmidt, not a bad little Merlot. Not bad. And I know everyone's got their bullshit about Merlot. Ooh, it's Merlot.
It's
Dude,
Merlot.
Merlot.
It's a fine Merlot.
Smith and Hook cab, super tasty cab. All these in that same range. If you find yourself a Total Wine at the store, you're trying to drink
I was
something.
gonna say I'll post the link in Bevmo right now so that everybody can find it. It's listed at $20 for Bevmo. I'll put it in the chat right now.
There's so many good. This is another really good one that you'll see the name, and if you haven't seen the name, you should see the name. Matanzas Creek.
So I think that I need to pull this up here so everybody can see what's going on here. So let's go ahead and pull this up. How do you spell Matanza here? M-E-T-A?
All right, won't let me put web addresses in the chat.
Fine.
What's up with that?
That's fine. You should be sharing your screen instead. Winery. And
Fair enough.
This is the Cabernet.
No, this one that I'm holding right now is actually the Merlot. It is amazing.
Okay.
Matanzas, Matanzas Creek Winery. Really, really tasty Merlot. Not super expensive.
Oh, Total Wine and More here has a nice little listing for it, as
Fair
you're talking
enough.
about.
All right,
now,
so let me.
the prices I quote you at, I could be totally wrong on because I do it through distributor. Obviously, they're gonna be a little bit
Yeah,
different.
you can't. I don't know if you can be talking prices here because.
Everyone knows. It's no secret.
Oh,
you
what
guys,
the heck?
So this is the Bevmo, page right here. It's $20.
All price.
What is it listed at Total Wine?
Were you born before this date? Yes, I was. It's actually, if we take a look here, it's listed at $28.99 per bottle. Mix 6 at $26.09. So.
Oh, Dom, you're giving us fake news.
No, he's not. He's just getting a good deal.
Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to say fake news. The fake news. All right.
Whatever wines I put up here, regardless of what you're paying for it, dude, it's still a good wine. That's the whole thing we're looking for is, you know what, if you can make the price better, cool. But if you can't, it's still a bomb wine.
Get the wine that's delicious.
But the ones we're talking about next, dude, when we all meet up, are going to be the kind of wines where no one gets a deal, but they are amazing.
That's delicious.
If anyone wants to kind of start looking into it, Keenan is a killer wine. That and Darius. Those will be two of the ones I'm thinking that we're going to think about on the next podcast. When I say thinking about, I'm pretty sure we're going to drink about it.
We're gonna drink
Excellent.
about it.
So, so Dom, what's your address? What's your GPS coordinates? Where can people find you?
just give it away so everybody can show up at your front door.
You guys my credit card so you can get your Uber stats. Everyone good with that?
There you go.
I'm gonna need your soch. Yeah, that's not enough for me.
Hi, this is AC. Welcome to the Pinkies Out podcast. What's your social?
All right, let me hit on these last few points really fast, and we can cut this out. We've been on here for long enough. I'm sure people are going out of their minds.
No, I'm sure.
All right. So we talked about a major exchange listing for Kin. We've got the Kin and the Seller platform. Basically, what that means for anyone that's watching this right now, I know that we're being a mess, but check it out. The point is, if you believe in us and if you believe in your gut that Kin and Stellar, according to what we just gave you, are spots that you should put that money into, I think you should. I think Stellar is going to be a massive exchange. I think Kin, according to Brandon, and you've not been wrong yet, is going to be a massive currency. I think with the introduction of Kick Messenger with Kin and the SellerX platform to launch as a major exchange, I believe they're both going to have a very symbiotic relationship. With that being said, and talking about exchanges, Dent, you were saying, has a release Q4 on an exchange. Can we confirm any of that or no?
Well, here's the deal with it. You can't confirm anything when it comes to that kind of stuff. They have been up until this point on time with all their releases, but the only thing that's up in the air for any one particular release is their Ethereum beta application that they released in beta, and it's closed beta. I haven't been able to see it. I signed up for it. They didn't give me an opportunity to have it. It's really just, it's a scanner wallet. It's a pretty cool little piece of tech, but you can keep track of all your ERC20 tokens, which is something that's pretty exciting. I've been using a few other applications to do that right now personally, but I'm still very, very high on Dent. When that exchange comes out, I think it's gonna be a very, very good coin. However, if I was gonna pick, I hate to say it, but Kin is my number one pick for
Well, I know it is, man.
2019.
You're good at calling him too. For anyone out there that's watching this, listen to this man. When he picks something, I swear to God, it's like magic. We used to be in this chat with people that this one guy was really good at calling the cycle, and none of us listen to this guy. Not one of us. And we were all wrong. So everyone has their balances. Everyone has their things they're good at. This guy is good at calling coins that make it. I think Kin is going to make it. I use the the Kin app every day. Once it gets on Kick, I can totally see this blowing up.
Oh, it's gonna be outstanding. I mean, that's the other thing too. That Kinit app is actually in beta, and it's going to be coming out of beta soon. And with it coming out of beta, it's just going to be released all over the world rather than just in the United States, which is limited to right now. They are going to, at some point, have Kick Messenger opened up to the entire community, making Kin the #1 most used cryptocurrency in the world. And as we all know, the more something is used, the bigger the network is, the more the money is worth when people are using it for actual real world use cases. On top of that, they also have partnered with IMVU, which is a virtual chat that is got tens of millions of users. We also have them partnered, well, it hasn't been fully explained, they are partnered with the Unity engine, and they're going to be able to fully integrate into any game that's coded on the Unity engine. All these things are very, very, very important things to take into account when it comes to Kin becoming the most used cryptocurrency in the entire world. It is so hard to pay attention with you looking so freaking awesome.
What the?
I didn't even know you guys could see me right now. I was just over here. I was like, we're at the end of the podcast. I got to come up with something awesome to say. So let's put the Pinkies.
Dude,
Go ahead, I
honestly,
didn't mean to interrupt you.
say no, dude, you're killing it right now. That's good. I saw you doing it. I was like, all right.
And I think with that, it's time to play the rollout music.
I love it. I love it.
Hey,
Yeah.
once as the rollout music comes on, you guys, please, I know that we've only got a few subscribers so far. For anyone that is, we're in the beginning of this, and it takes your feedback to make it more useful. We're down to talk about whatever you want. We're down to answer any questions you have. Please ask them. Email us. Let us know. Whatever you want to talk about, we will research, and we will make sure that we find out, and we will make a massive segment of it because it is what you're interested in that keeps us going. Thank you guys so much for everything, dude. Pinkies, get the fuck out.
Pinkies out. Rock on.
Music playing. I can't even tell.
We manifest so much success, so much success. Might just take a trip to rest.
I'm gonna unmute the YouTube
Private
stream.
jets, got our
Oh,
own
it's going.
private chef. We never stress, reaching for the check, sign it with our breath.
We came to live it up, cuz we might just live this like once. So we ain't stacking them ones. Finer things, diamonds in. It's glisten when I listen. So everything I hear is coming in crystal clear. It's the attitude of gratitude in abundance. Attracting bundles of hunters, the new #1 stunners. Caviar in our stomachs, reservoir our funds done runneth over, and it just keep coming. That don't even do it justice.
Excellent.
Miss some haters in our
All right, are we
rose-colored
not live anymore?
aviators. We don't read the daily paper, compound like 80 acres.
We're still
Everything we do is major. Nature boy like Ric Flair. Wager you would do the same after you had been
I
there.
got so much money that I lost count. I got so much money in my bank account. I got so much money, so much money. I got so much money, never runs out. I got so much money that I lost count. I got so much money in my bank account. I got so much money, so much money. I got so much money, never runs out. We can make it rain, dropping dollars from an airplane. Roadies on our wrists, living life in the fast lane. Popping lots of champagne, girlies on our laps, man. Tugging at our gold chains and trying to eat our plantain. You know we got rocks, gold stash like it's Fort Knox. Started life with hard knocks, but now we own about 4 blocks. Gator shoes with no socks, sailboats at 8 docks. Markets close at 4 o'clock, but we keep making non-stop. Make money, money, make money, money. We travel so damn much, every day is Sunday. Wake up in Bali, goddamn I'm feeling lucky. As we end the night in Hong Kong, drinking bourbon from Kentucky. Never fearing death, cause we live a charmed life. Always outsmart all these haters, cause we keep our game tight. As we travel around the world like a satellite, and we keep the party going like every single night. I got so much money that I lost count. I got so much money in my bank account. I got so much money, so much money. I got so much money, never runs out. I got so much money that I lost count. I got so much money in my bank account. I got so much money, so much